This is Jennifer. Now going to discuss about the topic for optics. So reflection. Most things we see are thanks to reflections, since most objects don't produce their own visible light. Much of the light incident on an object is observed, but some is reflected. The wavelength of the reflected light determines the colors we see. When white light hits an apple, for instance, primarily red wavelengths are reflected, while much of the others are observed. A ray of light heading towards an object is called incident ray. It reflects of the object, it is called the reflected ray. A perpendicular line drawn at any point on a surface is called a normal force. The angle between the incident ray and the normal ray is called the angle of incidence I. It is denoted by the letter I, and the angle between the reflected ray and the normal ray is called the angle of reflection. It is denoted by the letter R. The law of reflection states that the angle of incidence is always equal to the angle of reflection. So the law of reflection is normal line perpendicular to the surfaces. So it is denoted by I equal to R. Diffuse reflection. Diffuse reflection is when light bounces off a non-smooth surface. Each ray of light still obeys the laws of reflection, but because the surface is not smooth, the normal can point in a different for every ray. If many light rays strike a non-smooth surface, they could be reflected in many different directions. This explains how we can see object even when it seems the light shining upon it should not reflect in the direction of our eyes. It also helps to explain glare on wet roads. Water fills in and smooth out the rough road surfaces so that the road becomes more like a mirror. The example of specular reflection and diffuse reflection is given here. Speed of light and refraction. As you have already learned, light is extremely fast, about 3 into 10 power 8 meter by second in a vacuum. Light, however, is slowed down by the presence of matter. The extent to which it occurs depends on what the light is traveling through. Light travels at about 3 by 4 of its vacuum speed, 0.75 coulomb in water, and about 2 by 3 its vacuum speed, 0.67 coulomb in glass. The reason for this slowing is because when light strikes an atom, it must interact with its electron hood. If light travels from one medium to another, and if the speeds in this media differ, then light is subject to refraction, a changing of direction at the interface. Reflection and refraction. At an interface between two media, both reflection and refraction can occur. The angle of incidence, reflection and refraction are all measured with respect to the normal. The angle of incidence and reflection are always the same. If light speed upon entering a new medium, the angle of reflection theta r will be greater than the angle of incidence as dissipated on the left. If the light shows down in the new medium, theta r will be less than the angle of incidence. Axle analogy. Imagine you are an skateboard heading from the sidewalk towards some grass at an angle. Your front axle is depicted before at an entering the grass. Your right contacts the grass first and slows, but your left wheel is still moving quickly on the sidewalk. This causes to turn toward the normal if you scattered from grass to sidewalk. The same path would be followed. In this case, your right wheel you reach the sidewalk first and speed up, but your left wheel would still be moving more slowly. The result this time would be turning away from the normal, scattering from sidewalk to grass like light traveling from air to a more optically dense medium like glass or water The slower light travels in the new medium. The more it bends toward the normal, light traveling from the water to air speeds up and bends away from the normal. As with a skateboard, light traveling along the normal will change speed but not in direction. Index of refraction n. The index of refraction of a substance is the ratio of speed in light in a vacuum to the speed of light in the substance. So n is equal to c by v. C is speed of light in a vacuum and v is speed of light in a medium. N is denoted by index of refraction. Snell's law. Snell's law states that a ray of light bends in such a way that the ratio of the sine of the angle of incidence to the sine of the angle of refraction is constant. Mathematically, Ni sin theta I equal to Nr sin theta R. Here, Ni is the index of refraction in the original medium and Nr is the index in the medium the light enters. Theta 1 and theta R are the angle of incidence and refractions. Brewster angle. The Brewster angle is the angle of incidence. The produces reflected and refracted rays that are perpendicular. From Snell's law, n1 sin theta b is equal to n2 sin theta. So, alpha is equal to theta b sin alpha plus beta is equal to 90 degree and theta b plus beta is equal to 90 degree and beta equal to theta sin alpha plus beta is equal to 90 degree and theta plus alpha is equal to 90 degree. This gives the Brewster angle. So the Brewster angle equation is tan theta b is equal to n2 divided by n1. Critical angle. The incident angle that causes the refracted ray to skim right along the boundary of a substance is known as a critical angle. So it is denoted by theta c. The critical angle is the angle of incidence that produces an angle of refraction of 90 degree. If the angle of incidence exceeds the critical angle, the ray is completely reflected and does not enter the new medium. A critical angle only exists when light is attempting to penetrate a medium of higher optical density than it is currently traveling in. Total internal reflection. The total internal reflection occurs when light attempts to pass from a more optically dense medium to a less optically dense medium at an angle greater than the critical angle. When it occurs, there is no refraction, only reflection. So the total internal reflection can be used for practical applications like fiber optics. Fiber optics. Fiber optic lines are strands of a glass or transparent fibers that allows the transmission of light and digital information over long distance. They are used for the telephone system, the cable TV system, the internet, medical imaging and mechanical engineering inspections. Optic fiber have many advantages over copper wires. They are less expansive, thinner, lightweight and more flexible. They are not flammable since they use light signal instead of electric signal. Light signal from one fiber do not interfere with the signals in nearby fibers, which means clearer TV reception or phone conversations. Fiber optics are often long strands of very pure glass. They are very thin, about the size of human hair. Hundreds of thousands of them are arranged in bundles that can transmit light great distance. There are three main parts of an optical fiber. One is core, the thin glass center where light travel. Second one is cladding, optical material with a lower index of refraction than the core that surrounds the core that reflects light back into the core. The third one is buffer coating, plastic coating on the outside of an optical fiber to protect it from damage. Light travels through the core of the fiber optics by continually reflecting off the gladding. Due to total internal reflection, the gladding does not absorb any of the light, allowing the light to travel over great distance. Some of the light signal will degrade over time due to impurities in the glass. There are two types of optical fibers, single mode and multi-mode fibers. So the single mode fiber is transmit one signal per fiber. The multi-mode fiber is transmit multiple signal per fiber. Mirages. Mirages are caused by the refracting properties of a non-uniform atmosphere. There are several examples of mirages, including seeing puddles ahead on a hot highway or in a desert, and lingering daylight after the sun is below the horizon. Inferior mirages. A person sees a puddle ahead on the hot highway because the road heats the air about it, while air further above the road stays cool. Instead of just two layers hot and cool, there are really many layers. Each is slightly hotter than the layer above it. The cooler air has a slightly higher index of refraction than the warm air beneath it. Rays of light coming towards the road gradually refract further from the normal, more parallel to the road. Imagine the wheels and axle on a light ray coming from the sky. The left wheel is always slightly warmer air than the right wheel, so the left wheel continuously moves faster, bending the axle more and more towards the observer. When a ray is bent enough, it surpasses the circle angle and reflects. The ray continues to refract as it leads towards the observer. The puddle is really just an individual image of the sky above. This is an example of inferior mirage, since the cool areas above the hot air. Superior mirages. Superior mirages occur when a layer of cool air is beneath a layer of warm air. Light rays are bent downward, which can make objects seem to be higher in the air and inverted. When the critical angle is exceeded, the ray reflects. These mirages usually occur over ice, snow, or cold water. Sometimes superior images are produced without reflection. Thank you.